Poppi Makes Cajun Popcorn Magic. Might be a little bit of a tongue twister for me, but it's a great book illustrated by Terrence Baldwin and written by Michelle Jackson. She has been my mentor in business, and I'm very excited to have her here to talk about her latest book. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your background. I know that you have written other books, and I know you because you have been a mentor in my business journey. So I am really thankful for that. Very interesting background. Tell us all about it.
Well, oh God, so great to be on here with you. So I am not from New Orleans. I am from Alabama, from a small town called Fairfield, Alabama. My background, actually, I started out as a banker. I spent years working in the banking industry and was a bank officer. This was in my early 20s after graduating from the University of Alabama. And then I went on to run shopping malls for 10 years. And so I worked as a marketing director for an enclosed shopping center in my own community. And then I went on to become the interim mall manager. Moved to Atlanta and ran the largest shopping open air shopping center in the city area of Atlanta, and spent several more years working in the shopping center industry. And then, because of things that were happening in the country with the recession, I decided to go back to school, get my master's degree in public administration. Went to work in the state of Maryland writing policy for the state. I was blessed enough to get an opportunity to work on a dynamic project that actually raised $84 million for startup companies, and I ran the first division for innovation in the Department of Business and Economic Development. So I've always loved business and entrepreneurship, but my passion has been writing. So I now have published three books. I own my own PR firm, PR Solutions, which is here in the New Orleans area, and just excited to be able to take all my experience working with businesses and business owners and to put it into and to use my passion for writing in order to promote those things.
Wow, you are so talented. It's amazing. I love to hear all of these things that you have done. And I know you keep, pushing and growing and helping the community. And I know, technical jobs and technical training, it's a big part of what you're doing now. And the 10-step guide to building a successful food startup is that latest book. And what inspired you to write this book?
Well, this is funny. So I have a youth entrepreneurship program called I Invest. I started back in 2015 after helping the state of Maryland create a similar program for startup companies. We would bring in companies from all over the world to compete for a share of $400,000. And so I ran that program for 3 years. And when my husband is a retired military, so that's why we would move around a lot. But we moved to Pittsburgh, and I started working with a program called Entrepreneur Youth and working with youth on how to start businesses. When I moved here, I said, you know what? I'm going to continue my program, which I have. And we have been able to work with some dynamic young entrepreneurs from all over the country. But I wanted to do something more. So I started a series of books called Disruptive Youth series. And is it okay to show the
Of
book?
course,
So
yes.
it is a comic book, my first comic book. My first two books were fiction. So this one is a little different, but it's a comic book that teaches young people how to start businesses. It's called Poppi Makes Cajun Popcorn Magic, and she is a local girl here in New Orleans who is starting a popcorn seasoning company. And so it walks you through the 10 steps to how to start a successful food startup. But really, it's a 10-step guide to how to start any business, because these are some of the foundational characteristics that you need in order to be successful at business ownership. Things that I've learned over the years from working in the mall industry and working with all these different companies to working in economic development for the state of Maryland. I was an Urban League business advisor, and now being an entrepreneur myself. I just wanted to create something that was about a diverse character, a character that looked like me, that comes from an urban community, that is interested in entrepreneurship. But I didn't want to teach it based on how I've seen it taught before. I wanted to teach entrepreneurship the way I learned it when I was in Maryland, and I'm working with guys who were selling multi-million dollar businesses. And
Hmm.
I was like, wow, I didn't learn entrepreneurship this way. So I wanted to kind of infuse this book with some of the ideas and some of the things that I've learned along the way. So I'm really excited about it.
And I know that she does look like you know, like very hip and vibrant and beautiful. The colors also from the book. Terrence Baldwin is the illustrator. And where is he based? Because he was excited to see
He's
the future on Viva Nola.
Yeah, he's based out of Baltimore and the Baltimore area. And I just met him. Actually, he's a part of an online community that I have called the Black Writers Workspace. And we started working on this book, and it was so exciting. I mean, it took us about 8 months to get it to where we wanted it to be. But working with an illustrator is an amazing process because they're taking your ideas and actually, drawing these characters based on my imagination of what they would look like. So he nailed Poppy. She's exactly how I wanted her to look. And everybody's saying she looks like me. And I'm like, I don't see it, but I can,
Well,
I
right
love her.
now
I think she's really
you have your
cool.
hair to the side right now, the big earrings, and she seems like she's really cool, like you. So there you go. It's a little bit of a resemblance right there. Plus, she's an entrepreneur. So there you go. So I know like the importance of having this book. It's also to teach those kids and young people in the minority communities about entrepreneurship. You said there weren't many resources for you when you were studying. Thankfully, there are more resources now. But I think this is a great book to spark that, that want to be your own boss, to create your own business, to pursue some ideas, because all the time we have ideas that we don't really don't do anything with them, and we don't try to really make it a business. So you wanted to get this book into schools. What is the goal? Who should read this book?
I think everyone over the age of 13 should read this book. Now, my target audience is about 13 to 21. However, I say everyone because although it's a comic book, it really tackles some of those key 10 items that you need. For instance, get smarter. I mean, that's the first, that's one of the first things we ask you to do. Get smarter about your industry. These are things that are essential in order for you to be successful. Build a support team. These are some of the top three items that we ask that our entrepreneurs do. What is a support team? And then we explain it to them. We talk about how to retain and hire good talent. These are the things that are essential. I grew up in public housing, and I was a little girl at 7 years old walking around the projects. I had all these big dreams. I wanted to be a best-selling author. I wanted to own my own business, and there was only one black-owned business in the neighborhood that I knew of, and it was right across the street from a historically black college, and it was Eternal Grocery Stores, a little bitty grocery store. I mean, itty bitty. I mean, you go in there, you get candy and eggs, but they supplied groceries for the community. And I was so amazed by this couple who owned this grocery store. It was just something that just lit a fire in me. So I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. But I also knew that there were so many limited resources. I didn't was not taught entrepreneurship in school. I didn't learn about entrepreneurship until honestly I got into the mall industry, and then I began to learn and connect with these homegrown businesses and began to see the challenges that they had to get capital for their businesses, in order to market the business, hire people. And that kind of, helped me a lot when I got to economic development for the state of Maryland, because now I'm in this innovation hub and I'm working around all these tech companies and biotech companies. And I'm just like, you know what? There is a strategy to being successful in entrepreneurship that is far beyond simply making a business plan. And so those are the things that really drove me in this direction. And so I try to help everybody I know, because entrepreneurship changes the game. It's a wealth builder. And for those who are coming from marginalized communities, it helps us to build generational wealth that we can pass down from generation to generation. And that's what's important to me. And I want to see more of our minority kids learn entrepreneurship in a way that they can have some scalable businesses and be able to pass these businesses down to their children.
This message relates really well to the Latino community, which is, the community that Viva Nola serves. So I was very excited to feature you and the book on our latest issue. But I want to know how people can find the book. Where can they get it?
Well, you can get the book on Amazon if you look up Michelle D. Jackson, or you can go to put in the actual title of the book and you can purchase it ebook as well as a hard copy on Amazon. You can also purchase the book from me directly at authormichelledjackson.com. I will send you a signed copy. I'm right here in New Orleans, and you had asked me the question about where I wanted to go. I really would love to get it into all the schools. I would like to get into all of the entrepreneurship programs. And I am also making myself available to come out to the schools and to talk about entrepreneurship and to do a workshop with the kids. I do that often. And so, absolutely, you can purchase it in those two primary places. You can also get it on direct2author.com. So, Amazon directly here, you can contact me and purchase the book at authormichelledjackson.com, or you can go to direct2author.com and purchase Poppi book or any of the books that I've written.
So I know this is the beginning of a series. Are you working on the next one already?
I am actually outlining the second one. I want it to be a young man. I think we're going to focus in on the city of Atlanta. He'll be starting either an app or some type of web development company. Poppy is here in New Orleans. She has all, I mean, the book is filled with all the different cultural things that make this city so amazing, food and music. She's also someone, she's riding the trolley. She's that hip New Orleans girl, and so we really do want to make sure our young people are interested in keeping it, meeting them where they are and trying to use the type of Gen Z language and terms that I had to ask my 15-year-old. He's trying to help me with that.
Whoa.
But yeah, we want to do that. So yeah, the next book is in play. We're going to just make sure that our young people know how to start different types of businesses, not just one type of business. And we're going to be doing several of these. So we are outlining it now, and we're going to get to working on it in the coming months.
That's so clever because you have the different businesses, the different cities. I love it. I cannot wait to get, the first scoop of what the book name is and see all that beautiful illustration as well. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us and thank you so much for all that work you put into the community.
Thank you for everything that you do. You are amazing. Thank you.
Well, I'm so glad you were able to join us and to tell us about Poppy and all these other exciting characters that you will be developing to learn more about entrepreneurship. This is the end of our show, and I appreciate you joining us tonight. Remember to stay connected with us with our social media channels. You can find us with at Viva_Nola on Instagram and at Viva Nola Mag on Facebook and Twitter. Visit our website, vivanolamag.com, to see our articles and latest issues of the magazine. We hope to hear from you and get your comments and suggestions. We'll see you next time.